Hi guys! Today we're going to look at how to make enemies randomly wander around. We'll start with this scene that has several enemies that chase the player if it gets too close. We created this in our 2D top-down shooter series, so take a look if you want to know how it was done. Alternatively, you can download this project by supporting us on Patreon. All the links you need can be found in the description. Okay, at the moment the enemies only move if the player is nearby. As soon as the player is out of range, they stop moving again. The first thing we'll do is change the script so that the enemy is always moving. Let's stop the game and open up the enemy movement script. Currently we have a target direction that the enemy moves towards. If the target direction is 0, then we set the velocity to 0. So we're going to change this to make sure the enemy always has a target direction. In the awake method, we'll initialize the target direction to the up direction of the enemy transform. As the enemy sprite is facing upwards, this means the initial target direction will be the way it's currently facing. Then, in the update target direction method, we'll remove this section that sets the target to 0 if the player isn't nearby. Now the target direction will either be the position of the player or it'll be straight ahead. Since the target direction is never going to be 0, we can also remove these checks. Let's save the script and switch back to Unity to try it out. Now the enemies are constantly moving. If the player gets too close, they change direction. Then if we move away, they will carry on in the direction they're facing. This already looks a lot better, but we'll improve it further by making the enemies randomly change direction to make it seem like they're wandering around. Let's stop the game and switch back to the script. We'll create a new method to set a random target direction. We'll call this method just before the player targeting code in the update target direction method. This way the enemy will wander randomly, but when the player is close enough, it will override the random direction. To make things consistent, we'll move the player targeting into its own method as well. We'll create a new method called handle player targeting. Then we'll cut and paste the player targeting code into this new method. We need to remember to call this new method from the update target direction method. Okay, let's populate the random direction method. We only want to change direction every now and again. To allow us to do this, we'll add a private float field to store the amount of time remaining until the next direction change. Then in the method, we'll minus time.delta time from this value. When this value reaches 0, we want to change direction. We'll add an if statement to check if the cooldown is complete. If it is, we'll create a random angle. For this, we'll use random range to create a value between -90 and +90. We need to remember to add the f after these numbers to indicate that we want to get a random float value. If we didn't do this, it would generate a random whole number rather than a decimal value. Now we have a random angle between -90 and +90 degrees. The next thing to do is use this to create a rotation. To store a rotation, we need to use the quaternion type. Then we'll use quaternion angle axis to create a rotation that rotates by a number of degrees around an axis. We'll specify that we want to rotate by the random angle we created. For the axis we want to rotate on, we'll use the forward direction of the transform, which will be pointing into the screen. Now we can create a new target direction by rotating the existing target direction by this amount. To do this, we simply multiply the rotation by the current target direction. After we've changed the target direction, we need to set the cooldown so that it waits before changing direction again. We'll use random range again to set this to a random value between 1 and 5 seconds. Okay, let's save this and switch back to Unity to try it out. Now we can see the enemies keep changing direction. The problem we have at the moment is that they wander off screen and may never come back. The same also applies to the player. There's nothing stopping us just walking off the edge of the screen. In the next video in this series, we'll fix these issues. We'll make sure the enemies always wander back into view, and we'll make sure that the player can't walk off the screen. If you want to be alerted when this one's out, then subscribe and click the bell icon. If you have any questions or feedback on this video, then please let us know in the comments. A big thank you to all our patrons, we really appreciate you helping to support the channel. If you'd like to help and also get access to the source code, you can find details in the description. Thanks guys!